Hey guys!
And gals!
Today we will have a look at how we can sync VCV Rack to Ableton Live, how we can send audio in both directions, and how we can sequence VCV Rack with MIDI coming from Ableton Live. So first of all, the tool we will use is the VCV Bridge VST. Now I know it's not supported anymore, but it's still working, and it's probably the easiest way to make VCV Rack work with Ableton, at least until the VST version of VCV Rack will be available. So I will put a link in the description to where you can get the Bridge VST. You will have to download this version of VCV, and you do not have to install this version. I repeat, do not install this version. All you have to do is extract the file and copy the Bridge VST files to your plugins folder. Now, in order to sync VCV Rack to Ableton, we will have to know how to send audio from Ableton to VCV. So let's start with this. Let's load a sample into a new track. I will go here to samples. Let's go with a drum loop. I will take this one here just to a new track. Very nice. Let's play it. Sounds like this. Very cool. Now let's load also the Bridge VST in a new track. I have it here in my favorites, Bridge VST. Okay, now we will have to select the port we want to use. Here down, I just click this arrow and I can choose the port. I never had luck with port 1, so let's start with port 2. Maybe you will have luck with port 1 also. Let's name this track Bridge, let's say. Very nice. And now I want this drum track will go to VCV through the bridge. So let's set the output on this channel, audio 2. Let's change this to bridge, and we will leave this with channels 1 and 2. And let's play this loop. Very nice. Now we don't hear anything, but if we go to VCV Rack, we will use the Audio 8 module. Let's change the interface to bridge, and we will choose the right port. So we are on port 2. Very nice. Now you should see those green lights turned on. If not, choose a different port in Ableton and set the same in VCV. And now I have here the Briatus from Volt, so we can add some crunch just for fun. So let's send channels 1 and 2. Again, those are our drums. We can already see the signal is going here through. And now let's send this back to channels 1 and 2. Oh yeah, on the audio module, and we should hear this loop. And we can, oh yeah, crunch it a bit. Oh yes, let's go back to Ableton. You can see that we get the audio from the bridge channel. So this is the drum loop that is going to the bridge, and here we receive the audio. But what if we want a dedicated channel for this? So we can also multi-track everything from VCV Rack. So let's stop the loop for a second, and now what we have to do is route this bridge channel to a dedicated track. So let's rename an audio track. Let's call this drums from VCV. VCV. Very nice. And now I don't want to hear the drum loop twice, so I will take the bridge channel out of the master, so it will not go to the master output. Audio 2, change it for master, let's say to sends only. And let's change the audio setting on the drums from VCV track, this track here, to come from the bridge track. So audio from, let's change this to bridge. And by default, it will be channels 1 and 2, so it fits. We don't have to do anything for now. It fits to what we have in VCV, channels 1 and 2. Very nice. All what you have to do now is change the monitor to in. So we will monitor the input, hit play. Oh yeah. And we get the sound. So we don't get a sound from this channel. You can see this is here blue. We get a sound from this, so I can mute it. I can pan it, I can do whatever I want. Now I have only the drums on this channel here. Very nice. Now let's go back to VCV. I have here another voice. I have clocked triggering or driving ions and 8 phase, so I have some variation. This is sequencing plats, going through some reverb on plateau. So let's do this. Let's send this to inputs 3 and 4 on the audio module. And in Ableton, if we go back to Ableton, let's rename another audio track to sequence from VCV. Very nice. Let's set it to receive audio again from the bridge channel. So audio from, let's change it to bridge. This time, in this case, we have channels 3 and 4, right? In VCV, we connected it to 3 and 4. So also here we select 3 and 4. Again, monitor set to input. Let's hit play. And now go to clocked and run clocked also. So we have the audio of another voice in Ableton. It's coming here. Very nice. Now, of course, if you want to have more than 8 channels, you can use another audio module with another port. There are 16 ports all in all, so you have 128 channels to send audio into Ableton and another 128 channels to send audio from Ableton to VCV. Very nice. Now, even though we have the same BPM, we have 170 here, we have 170 here, they are not in sync, the voices. So if I stop here, first of all, we have clocked still running, and if I hit play again, they are not really in sync. But now, let me just stop this. But now when we know how to send audio into VCV, we can sync also VCV Rack to Ableton. What we will need a pulse to send into VCV, so the sync will be super stable, unlike when sending Midi or using Midi. So I have a sample of a short pulse. Thank you, Make Noise, for that. And of course, I will put a link in the description so you can download it and use it. And we will use Simpler for that. So let's go to Instruments, Simpler, just add it on a new channel. Very nice. Let's call this channel, let's call it Clock to VCV, just like this. Very nice, and I will load the sample into it. I have it here, pulse. Again, links in the description. So now I have the sample of this pulse in Simpler. And now let's create a series of 16th notes on C4. So I will just add another channel here, another another whatever it's called. And I will enter 1, 2, 3, 4 notes are enough. And I will just loop this, so we have 4 16th notes on C4. If I hit play, we can hear it. Okay, but I don't want it to go to the master output, of course, I want it to go to VCV. So let's send the clock to VCV channel to the bridge, audio to bridge. Very nice. Let's select channels 3 and 4 because the drums are going to 1 and 2. Now in VCV, we will send this pulse to clocked, the clock from Impromptu, which is perfect for working with external clock signals. We don't need a stereo signal, I just use channel 3 in this case. This will go to the BPM input. Now we have 16th notes, which means that for each quarter note we have 4 pulses. So our clock resolution is 4 ppqn, 4 pulses per quarter note. So let's set this on clocked here in the mode section. P2, P4, 4 ppqn. Another useful setting is having clocked sending a reset pulse when it starts, so everything is nice and in sync. So under settings, on start, send reset pulse. Very nice. Let's go back to Ableton, and if I hit now play on Ableton, oh yeah, everything is running together and in sync. If I hit stop, everything stops, the clock is stopping, everything stops. I can also change the BPM. Let's go with 125. Oh yes, oh yes. look at this, here 125 on clocked, 125, super stable, really nice, everything is running. Again, if I hit stop on Ableton, everything stops also in VCV. Really cool, really nice. So we can send audio into VCV Rack, we can send audio from VCV Rack, we can sync VCV with Ableton, and it's super tight. And now let's sequence a voice in VCV with MIDI from Ableton. So let's rename a MIDI track. I will choose this one, for example, to sequence to VCV. Sequence to VCV, very nice. Let's program a simple sequence here on the first row. Let's go with C, D, maybe the D will be a bit longer, then we will have G, and let's make, this is F, actually this is not G, let's go with G, and then maybe, again, F, maybe a bit longer, and that's it, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no, let's have another one, let's have B flat here. Okay, very nice. A nice simple sequence. Let's also loop this, of course, so it's nice and looped. And now we need another bridge plugin, and this will come on this MIDI channel. So let's go back to the favorites, just put it on the MIDI channel. In this case, let's use a different port. We will use port number 3. So let's change this to port number 3, very nice. And in VCV Rack, we will use the MIDI to CV module. Let's set it to bridge. So this module will convert the MIDI from Ableton to virtual CV here in VCV Rack. Again, set it to bridge. Let's set port 3 because this is the port we are using. And we will send the volt per octave and the gate to our voice. In this case, I have detour from Hora. So volt per octave and gate. Very nice. Now let's also listen to this voice. So this voice will go to channels 5 and 6 on the audio module. 5 and 6. And now let's go to Ableton. Let's add another audio track. This we will call sequence from VCV. So this is our voice. Very nice. Let's set it to receive audio from bridge. In this case, we have channels 5 and 6. Again, this is the channels we are using in VCV, channels 5 and 6. Again, set the monitor to input. Now let's hit play. Oh yeah. So we have our voice being sequenced. Oh yes. Just for fun, let's add an effect. Let's go to plugins, Valhalla Supermassive, which is this one here. Oh yes, just for fun. So we can also add effects in Ableton. Now we can also use the velocity. If I go back to our sequence to VCV, we can also use the velocity here to change things in VCV Rack. So let's do something like this, for example. And here we have the velocity output. So this will go, let's say, to the V parameter. You can see we have here movement. This is velocity. Oh yeah. And again, if I stop, everything stops, everything is in sync. Amazing, beautiful. So we can sequence voices in VCV Rack as well with sending MIDI from Ableton all through the bridge VST. Now let's create a small arrangement. So what I will do, I will take the drums and let's put it here, drums, and I will activate this, of course, and let's also activate the sequence, and I will take the sequence and put it also in the arrangement. Which was sequence to VCV. Very nice. Now what we can do, let's create a nice arrangement. So let's play this for a second. So we will start with this sequence, then will come the drums, And then will come this sequence here. Am I in the right? No, I should be here. Why did it jump? I don't know. I'm not actually a really Ableton Live user, so excuse me if I'm a bit slow. Okay, let's have a listen to this. Oh yeah. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. So we have a nice arrangement. So we can arrange whole tracks with Ableton and control VCV Rack. Now we can also send automation, of course, to VCV, so we can automate things in VCV Rack through Midi from Ableton. So let's add an automation for this sequence. What I will do, I will add an automation track. In this case, we will not modulate or automate the port. We will automate CC0. You can see it's here. We have a lot of 15 CCs we can automate. So in this case, let's go with 0, for example. Let's also draw something. Let's take, this will be a point. Let's take it up and take it down, and up and down, and another time up and down. So we have a nice, not so nice, never mind, automation. In VCV Rack, we will use the Midi to CC module, so it will convert the Midi from Ableton into a virtual control voltage in VCV. Again, let's set this to bridge, choose the respective port, and again we have port 3 in this case. Now we can send CC0, which is here, to, let's say, the filter cutoff. Let's close it a bit. Very nice. And now let's hit play in Ableton and let's wait for it. Let's have a look in VCV. Look at this filter. This is cool, and you can see here also the automation. So we can also create automation. Let me stop this. Create automation in Ableton and send everything into VCV Rack. And that was it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will do my best to help you out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you enjoy what I do, consider becoming a Patreon. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and hit the bell. And have a good one.